Go through the team, Matt.
Sure, mate, sure. So obviously out the back there, you got young Will Neuenhouse out the fullback. Logan Rudder's on the left wing. Marcus Carroll, he'll play on the right wing. Jordan Watson's pushed out from the halves into the centres. Morgan Amity, young bloke, he's an under 18 player stepping up there, having a blinder, playing in one of the centres as well. James Bradley in the halves, as is Jake Smith. Moving forward into the forward pack, we got Dale Watson and Luke Gardner. They'll take up the front row. Tommy Johnson, he'll do the honours at dummy half. We got Ethan Curtin Edwards, another 18-year-old player playing in the back row. Mick Rinkin and Cody Argent. That takes out the full team there, Benko.
Yeah, the Muswellbrook side is pretty much per the program. Bailey Taylor at fullback, Jake Ellis and Dan Ellis on the wing. That's the first time Jake has played on the wing for a long time for Muswellbrook. In the centres, we've got Zach Webb and Keita Moylan. 5'8", Jake Hardy, half Bailey Ellis. Front row of Dylan Thorne and Rowan Pottinger with Jason Mackay, the hooker. Adam Bartholomew and Brady Bankovic on the edges with Bailey Wooden playing lock. On the reserve bench, Ramon Jackson, Kurtley Lewis, and a couple yet to be advised. But look at Josh Grimminger's there. He'll be the third, and I'm saying, just trying to work out who they brought on for the fourth reserve because their reserve grade just played. So
maybe Hovey.
Yeah, it could be Hovey. We'll just up your date with that anyway.
Okay, so how we look here from the kickoff, the Singleton boys, the Greyhounds, are going to be running from left to right. It doesn't mean much to all those listeners, but they're going to be running from north to south, from the railway. If you know Olympic Park, they're going to be running from the railway's end to the New England Highway, and that's the best way to describe it. Here's a kickoff. Joey Butler's the referee. Will Neuenhouse does the honours. In 80 minutes, we will define who is going to proceed further to take on Scone next week up at Scone Park in the preliminary final. Here's the second play. First play was on to Big Rowan Pottinger. Second play is Dylan Thorne, the captain. Charges forward and he goes up. That's an ordinary play, the ball, but Joey Butler's found a bit of crowding there from Big Dale Watson in the tackle. So Muswellbrook, first piggyback penalty of the game, and it goes straight to Bailey Ellis, and he finds touch. And they're going to have the ball, the Rams, 40 metres out, 10 in from touch, and on the tap restart, we find Zachy Webb. He takes it just shy of halfway. Choppy Mackay at dummy half, I should say. Ball goes through two sets of hands. Jake Hardy onto Bailey Wooden. He gets up over halfway. Choppy Mackay at dummy half. Didn't read that play. It went under to Dylan Thorne, who went without it. And then Bailey Ellis cleaned up the dregs, and he's tackled 45 out centre field from the Singleton line. Choppy Mackay at dummy half. He goes off himself. Beats one, shrugs out of another. Good tackle there by Michael Rinkin, who didn't miss him. 38 metres out centre field from the Singleton line. Bailey Ellis from dummy half goes out wide to Jake Hardy, and Jake Hardy gives the ball onto Adam Bartholomew, and he's tackled on the last. What are they going to do? Jake Hardy gets the ball, little chip over to the side, the right-hand side. Easily cleaned up over there by, is that Marcus Carroll?
Marcus Carroll out on that right edge.
Or Logan Rudder. I think it's number 2, Logan Rudder. That was. Matty?
Sorry, mate. Yeah, Marcus on the right. Logan's on the left.
My apologies,
mate,
yes. So Singleton got the ball. It's a penalty. Crowding again, or too long to get it out, and that was Will Neuenhouse, who took off from dummy half, and he certainly got the Muswellbrook defence there too quick for him. Too quick for them.
That's one of each, Banker. That's normal refereeing. One of each, and get on with the game.
So if we look at it, boys, Singleton are going to be running with the breeze in the first half. Here's the tap restart from Morgan Amity, and Morgan Amity gets the ball. He gives it on to number 11, which is Ethan Curtin Edwards, and he takes it just over halfway, 10 in from touch. Wriggles free. Tommy Johnson at dummy half onto Bradley. Bradley goes to Luke Gardner. He's hitting a good tackle, but he unloads it. And he's hitting another good two-man tackle from Choppy Mackay and Bankovic. He gets up, ordinary play, the ball, but it gets away with it. Jake Smith gets the ball out to Jordan Watson, and Jordan Watson gets up over the 40, 35 metres out. Bailey Wooden underneath, and Bailey Ellis over the top. Here's Tommy Johnson from dummy half. Gets it onto Dale Watson, and Watson takes it forward over the 30-metre line, about 28 metres out. Good set of defence so far from the Rams. Tommy Johnson, long pass to Smith. Long ball out to Bradley. Out the back. No, he gives a short, flat pass to the decoy. And that was Curtin Edwards. He's tackled 25 metres out down the blind side. James Bradley gets the ball to Neuenhouse. Puts a little grubber forward. It bounces favourably into Bailey Taylor's hands. He takes it centre field, and he's tackled about 15 metres out from his own line. Underneath was Cody Argent. Here's Cooter Moylan. Cooter Moylan, right leg heavily strapped around that knee area, and he takes the ball forward over the 20, about 23 metres out, 20 in from touch. Daniel Ellis at dummy half. He's going to go for a dart himself. He does. Nothing of him, and he's hitting a real good tackle from Jakey Smith, 33 metres out from his own line. Here's the ball, long ball out to Potto. Rowan Pottinger charges forward again. He'll do that all day, Bomber. He gets to the 40. Good tackle there from Michael Rinkin. Comes down to this short side. Bailey Ellis, short pass out to Cooter Moylan. It was ordinary, and to say the least, not a great finish to that set of 6, Bomber.
Yeah, we seem to be doing the same things we did at Demon the other day, side to side, instead of just rolling through the middle and get to a kick. Yeah, we got some good, quick dummy half runs there, but on the end of it, we didn't have any big fronties going forward in numbers, and that probably why we come back to that short side. I've got no idea.
So the Greyhounds will have the ball 40 metres out from their own line, 20 in from touch. I'll have this scrum food, and Jakey Smith got a good back line set out there. Here's the ball on to Neuenhouse. He's always the go-to man, Will Neuenhouse. For a little guy, he's just dynamite. He's tackled 42 metres out from his own line, centre field. Jake Hardy was the tackler. James Bradley at dummy half gives the ball on to Ethan Curtin-Edwards. Haven't seen much of him this year, Matty Kenny, and he's gone over halfway. Good run from him there before on to Lukey Gardner, and he's monstered in a really good tackle there by Rowan Pottinger and Dylan Thorne. I'll get to you in a second, Matty. Jakey Smith gets the ball, and he gives it on to Michael Rinkin, who's coughed it up, and ball goes loose. Rams ball about 5 shy of halfway. Choppy Mackay was the recipient of that lost ball. Ball goes out to the right-hand side to Rowan Pottinger, and they pick him up. That's gone over the vertical, Joey Butler. He's over halfway, but he's up.
Young Ethan's mate got him from Dungog this year, Benko. He's he's only a young bloke. He's actually not even 18 so far, mate. So stepping up the big time in the first grade.
Has he played 18s this year, Matty?
Mate, he played one game, I think, to start off with, Benko, and he's been pretty much playing first grade ever since.
Really impressive what I'm seeing so far, mate.
Very, very, very much an impressive young lad.
Hitting that left edge well. Here's the restart. The tap restart goes to Zach Webb, and Zach Webb gets the ball about 15 out from the Greyhounds line there. 10 out now. Well set out on the left-hand side of the field. Ball goes out to Jake Hardy, short pass to Bailey Wooden. Charges through, but he's hitting a really good tackle. He's about 9 metres out centre field. Luke Gardner was that tackler there. Choppy Mackay goes from dummy half, and he turns it over to Dylan Thorne. Only about 5 out, options both left and right. Short pass out to Rowan Pottinger, going nowhere. He unloads to Bailey Wooden. Still no options there. He goes himself, and he's hitting a good tackle there by Ethan Curtin-Edwards. They were up to play the ball, quick play the ball, goes to Bartholomew down the right-hand side. He charges at the line, he's pulled up on the last. Only a metre shy. Choppy Mackay, dummy half, out the back to Jake Hardy. Jake Hardy puts a grubber kick through. It comes off a Singleton leg. It's not 6 to go, has it? Is he called 6 to go?
Yeah, he did call 6.
He does. Break there for the Rams. Choppy Mackay, dummy half, ball out the back to Jake Hardy. Jake Hardy elects to go himself. He's about 5-6 metres out from the Greyhounds line. Mackay, dummy half, going to give a short pass out there. He cuts out Rowan Pottinger. He gives it straight into the arms of Dylan Thorne. Is he charged over? Can he get it? No, he's pulled back. Millimetres shy. There's a real good line set to the left here. They've got about a 3-man overlap. They need to get it out quick. Ball goes wide. Out to Bailey Ellis. Long pass to Daniel Ellis. He's got one to beat. It's great tackle there by Jordan Watson over the top. Smothered him.
Great scramble.
Metre out, Bailey Taylor. Cooter Moylan at dummy half on to Bailey Ellis. Long pass out to Bailey Wooden. They're 10 out still. Defence from Singleton solid. It's the last tackle. Options left and right. Choppy Mackay at dummy half on to Bailey Ellis. What they're going to do? A little chip through. Goes nowhere. Straight into the arms of Jordan Watson. 5 out. Good recovery and good defence from the Greyhounds, Bomber.
Yeah, good defence by Singleton. They Muswellbrook threw a fair bit at them there, and they kept up coming up with all the right answers.
Great scramble from Jordan Watson, Marcus Carroll on that right edge there, Benko.
Brilliant defence, absolutely brilliant defence. And what is he going to find? The Singleton got the ball, and Jake Hardy went in for a tackle and not square at Marcus. So they coughed it up, Singleton, but Joey Butler's found a penalty there for the Marcus not square. Dylan Thorne's gone in there to ask a question, but it was plain as day. Here's James Bradley with the kick for touch. from his own 20-metre line. It was a brilliant kick with the wind. He's found it 45 metres out. They're going to have this tap restart from the Rams line. Morgan Emity gets a ball onto Curtin Edwards, and Curtin Edwards charges at the defence. Good tackle around the legs by Hardy. Over the top, Zach Webb, 35 metres out from the Rams line. Ball goes on to James Bradley, turns it back inside to Cody Argent. Right on the 30-metre line, 7 in from touch. Bradley again, first receiver. On to Luke Gardner, and Luke Gardner goes forward in his usual role. He does so, and he's tackled well by Mackay, and Dylan Thorne over the top. 29 metres out, centre field. Ball goes to Jake Smith. He turns it under for Dale Watson. He's hitting a really good 3-man tackle. If 25 metres out, come down this short side, onto Jake Smith. He puts a little kick through. It's over the Muswellbrook try line into the corner. And in the end, Bailey Taylor has just swatted it over the sideline, so it's going to be a line dropout.
Yeah, good kick by Smithy there. Just that's the difference at the moment. Experienced halfback, getting the repeat set. We had the chance down there, or Muswellbrook had the chance down there, and they couldn't come up with a repeat set. Smithy's come down on a pretty steady set by Singleton and got the repeat, so pressure on Muswellbrook. MRS
scoreboard, 31 minutes to go in this first half. It's 0-0. What a great line dropout by Bailey Taylor. Point to point, 50 metres. Will Newenhouse fielded, and he's given it off to Luke Gardner. 35 metres out from the Rams line. Good tackle from Adam Bartholomew, and Rowan Pottinger over the top. Here's Newenhouse. Again, he goes himself from dummy half. He gets through one, shrugs off another couple of shirt grabbers, and he going again, Will Newenhouse. He's gone up over the 20-metre line. He finds himself about 13 metres out from the Rams line. Tommy Johnson down that short left-hand side to a charging James Bradley! He's thrown the pass, but it's gone into the waiting arms of Jacob Ellis. Tommy Johnson in pursuit! Jacob Ellis he's gone to ground. What a great run from Tommy Johnson. He's tackled 35 metres out. Ball goes to Jake Hardy. Intercept the Jacob Ellis. I thought he had the legs, Bomber.
So
Seriously, I can't believe what an unbelievable performance by the little hooker, Tommy Johnson. And to compound that, the Greyhounds are given a penalty away 22 metres out. Matty, how did you see that?
Mate, I'm not sure that pass was ever on there, Benko. Too wide, too close to the line, mate.
Well, I thought it was shut the gate, and you actually called it, Bomber, but Tommy Johnson, that will go down. That is sensational. Here's the tap restart. Ball goes to Bankovic. Good tackle out wide by Jakey Smith. They're going to go this short side again, Bomber. Joe Bailey Ellis has got the ball. He goes himself. He's only about a metre or two out from the Singleton line. 5 in from touch. Keita Moylan at dummy half. Long pass to Choppy Mackay. Another long pass centre field to Dylan Thorne, who gups over the 10. He unloads to Choppy Mackay. He goes himself. He comes to the waiting arms of Newenhouse, and I think Rinkin's in there as well. They bring him down a metre out from the Greyhounds line. Slow play the ball. Bailey Wooden at dummy half. He looks to the left. Nothing happening. Gives it out to the right to Jake Hardy.
Penalty.
He dropped that ball, but there's no advantage. Joey Butley's ruled that all the Greyhounds are offside. So it's another tackle. It'll be a penalty to the Rams. Joey Butler's called he's called time off, and I think he's going to have a word to Dylan Thorne. Bomber.
I think at the moment Muswellbrook are trying to come down the short side, and they haven't created anything down there. Instead of just getting in the middle of the field with some tip-ons and trying to generate some ruck speed, they're coming down the short side, but there's actually no space down the short side.
Here's a tap restart from Bailey Ellis. They're only 5 metres out to Bailey Wooden. Good defence so far from the Greyhounds. The Rams would love to be the first to put some points on the board. Short ball to Rowan Pottinger from little area to move there, but another equally great tackle from Big Daly Watson. Ball comes to the left-hand side to Dylan Thorne. Short pass around the back to Bailey Ellis. He goes himself. He didn't give any early ball to Brankovic there, who was over the line if he passed it, but nevertheless, he's taken the tackle. Choppy Mackay gets the ball a metre out. Short flat pass to Pottinger. On to Bailey Taylor, who puts a little chip through, but it bounced accordingly straight into the arms of, I think that's number 11, Curtin Edwards. Pressure straight off for the Greyhounds again.
Well, Banko, they're suffering from everyone wants to be a ball player instead of someone's got to do some running here, because everyone's trying to do the ball playing role.
Just need to get back to some basic structure, I think, Bomber. Like you say, we're all trying to score tries out there at the moment.
Yeah, that's...
We'll signal with the ball now. They're centre field. They're about 35 metres out from their own line. That was Will Newenhouse in his customary role. Jakey Smith puts the ball to boot, and he puts it downtown. Not the greatest kick, and Bailey Taylor will field that ball about 35 out from his own line. He's tackled 5 shy of halfway, centre field. Cooter Moylan will get the ball from dummy half. He comes out to the left. He's going across field, and he's hitting a really good tackle from Jordan Watson, who let him go. Cooter Moylan hard to bring down. He still gets to the 30-metre line, 10 in from touch. Ball goes from dummy half from Bailey Ellis onto Zach Webb. They need some good runners here, Bomber, because some of the options have been woeful. Long pass out to Dylan Thorne. Is he going to tip it on? He doesn't. He elects to go himself. 10 out. Good tackle around the legs from Cody Argent. His defence has been solid. They come back down left-hand side. Ball goes to Bailey Ellis. Short pass to Bailey Taylor. Bailey Taylor gets the ball! Jicks off his left-hand foot and goes over the try line for the first points on the board of the MRS scoreboard. 4-0 to the Rams.
Yeah, good individual effort there by Bailey Taylor. Just went out the back a little bit, Bailey Ellis did, but BT done all the work. He's had to step in a couple and forced his way over for a try. And Muswellbrook needed that. They've sort of hammered Singo's line here for the best part of the first half, and they needed to put
Bailey Ellis, I should say. He's going to move in to try and convert this try. He's 22 metres out, 10 in from touch. He moves in, kicks it. It's come around, has it? No, left of the upright. It's 4-0 in favour of the Rams. 25 minutes to go in this first half, minor semi-final at Olympic Park between the Rams and the Greyhounds.
Well, I think you're right there, Bomber. Earlier, Dylan Thorne develops that little tip on. That's going to be deadly in the centre there, mate. It's one up at the moment. Yeah. That one little extra tip, he's just wide on the edge there. That's going to be devastating for Singleton.
Way too predictable.
Yeah.
And I think Bomber and I have spoken about it many times, Matty. If Rowan and Dylan can just develop that little tip
Absolutely.
on, because they're attracting 3 defenders because they know they're not going to promote it.
The edge is where it's at, Bengo.
Here's the ball off the kick-off. Jake Hardy gets the ball and he goes forward to Rowan Pottinger, and Pottinger takes the ball 12 metres out from his own line, about 22 in from touch. Hardy at dummy half again, long cut out pass to Dylan Thorne, centre field, gets up to the 20, hitting a good 4-man tackle there. Dale Watson amongst them, and also Tommy Johnson. And he ends up playing the ball about 28 metres shy of his own line. Benkovic gets a ball. Good run forward from the young fella. Hitting a good tackle by Jake Smith in the end. About 39 metres out from his own line. Bailey Wooden. This is a good set. Better set now. They're hitting the advantage line hard. Dylan Thorne standing there. Giving him a bit of encouragement. Ball goes back to Jake Hardy. Not the greatest kick in the world, but it still runs down to about 10 metres out from the Singleton line. And Newenhouse fields the ball, and he's tackled just about 22 metres out, 10 in from touch from his own line. That was a much better set. Singleton, they need a good set here to get out of their end zone.
Our body language is ordinary there at the moment. Benko, look at us. We're in 6s and 7s at the moment, 1-ups. Not looking good for Singleton.
Ball goes to Bradley onto Cody Argent, and Argent gets the ball, and he's taken immediately at the advantage line about 32 metres centre field from his own line. Tommy Johnson at dummy half gets it onto the experienced Lukey Gardner, and Gardner charges up over the 40, just shy of halfway. Again, Tommy Johnson from dummy half comes to Benkovic and gets under Bailey Wooden. He's tackled there. He's over halfway now, centre field again. Jakey Smith, long pass. Really good pick up from James Bradley, and it is high. Dead set high. Equally great take by Jacob Ellis, 22 metres out from his own line, about 5 in from touch. BT Taylor at dummy half gives a short pass to Zach Webb, who goes up and gets tackled on his own 30. I'm not sure if that ball come loose, but it looked good. Morgan Emmett tackled him there. Here's Daniel Ellis from dummy half, scoots away, but he's taken in a good tackle from James Bradley. He gets to the 40, 20 in from touch. Short pass from dummy half, Choppy Mackay onto Bailey Wooden, who goes hard, and he gets to the halfway line. Good set of 6, another good set of 6 by the Rams. Here's it on to Rowan Pottinger, and Pottinger charges forward. It's come loose in the tackle, but Joey Butler saw a rake in there, so it's another 50-50 call. It's gone to the Rams on this occasion. 40 metres out centre field from the Greyhounds line. They're going to have a penalty.
Good quick play the balls there, boys. Good quick play the balls and people at speed, yeah? Yep. That's just good hard run, and Bailey Wooden, two great hit-ups there. Easy metres.
On the ad line, mate.
Tap restart. They didn't even worry about looking for touch there. It was in the middle of the field. Tap restart, and it goes to Rowan Pottinger, and Rowan Pottinger took that ball the first up. It's the second hit up of this set so far, and I think that's Adam Bartholomew. Ball goes from dummy half to Choppy Mackay. They come down the left-hand side again. Swooping play to Bailey Taylor. Bailey Taylor gets through one. No, he doesn't. Good tackle from Jakey Smith. 3 metres out, 5 in from touch. Cooter Moylan's going to be the dummy half. Long pass out to Bailey Ellis. Good short early ball to Dylan Thorne. He's in centre field. He gets within 5 metres. There's plenty of room out the right-hand side. They've only got 3 players, but they've got a good backline set. They've got to scramble well. Jake Hardy flat pass to Zach Webb, and Zach Webb's immediately monstered there on 10 metres out from the Greyhounds line. It's the last tackle. Choppy Mackay at dummy half. Ball goes out the back to Jake Hardy. They need a better finish to this set. Grubber kicks it through, but I think a Singleton boy planted it down. He's offside. Bailey Taylor, he's ruled Bailey Taylor was offside on that little chip through from Jake Hardy. So it's going to be a Singleton penalty, 5 metres out directly in front of their own uprights.
Yeah, interesting set of 6 there by the Rams. I think if Dylan can just get that tip on and get the ball to the edges a bit quicker, will cause the Singleton defence a bit of trouble. But
Bailey Woodman was all in there, Bomber.
Yep. And in saying that, Singo is still pushing their part, just pushing up the middle of the field here. I don't think James Bradley will do too much different to what they normally do. They'll probably kick to a corner or put one of those big bombs up.
Well, here we go from that restart. That kick, they've made a gaping hole there. James Bradley was enormous in that little set there. They're up to the Muswellbrook 40. Will Newhouse goes from dummy half and his usual roll. And he hands it off to James Bradley. And Bradley will go untouched under the post for a try. Well, there you go. They went to sleep, the Rams, in defence, and that was as easy as you like, Bomber and Matt.
Yeah.
Two blokes you don't want to go to sleep on. James Bradley, yeah? He'll create something out of nothing. There it is there again, yeah? Will Newhouse, James Bradley combination. Speed, agility, youth for a start. Great to watch.
Yeah, Newhouse has just jumped out of there and just challenged a few Muswellbrook defenders in the middle of the ruck. He's got his arms free and Jimmy Bradley just beside him, and he's offloaded and run 20 out on the Muswellbrook side of the coin there. That was pretty sloppy middle third defence for a semi-final. You got to be better than that in the middle third of a footy field in the semi.
Will Newhouse converts that try on the MRS Services scoreboard at 6-4 in favour of the visitors, Singleton. Our first half brought to you by A+ Contracting and Poly Welding here in the minor semi-final in first grade between the Rams and the Greyhounds. On the restart here, Bailey Taylor puts the ball deep into the Singleton half. A great run by the boys to get that out, and I think that was Lukey Gardner.
We're going to need a little bit of go forward in that middle there, Benko, with Singleton definitely lacking a bit of that go forward, bit of bust in the line there, eh?
We can see after that try, Matty and Bomber, certainly Muswellbrook need to do a little bit better homework on the likes of Tommy Johnson, Will Newhouse and James Bradley, because everything is created from them three guys darting away, and they are sensational at times. Here's a little... what do you call that, Bomber?
The mousetrap.
The mousetrap from dummy half, and Tommy Johnson went over the top of it, and Will Newhouse picked the ball up, and he gets up over halfway. You know, there's 3 bigger blokes than him, and still just struggle to get Will Newhouse down. Here's James Bradley, pressure forward, and he puts a big high bomb up. Bailey Taylor's under it. He gets the ball, he juggles it, but he still collects it about 11 metres out from his own line. He's hitting a good tackle there by the Singleton defenders. Michael Rinkin was one of them, and also Jordan Watson. Here's Jacob Ellis. Jacob Ellis gets the ball from dummy half, and he comes over to this left-hand side, the grandstand side of the field. He's tackled on his own 20. Cooter Moylan goes from dummy half, and he's hitting a really good tackle. He only makes a couple of metres. Good hit by Marcus Carroll there. Here's Bailey Wooden. He goes forward all day, and he's up over the 35-metre line. 15 in from touch. Brady Benkovic gets the ball. He charges forward straight in the arms of Tommy Johnson. He gets to about 48 metres out from his own line. Centre field, it's the last tackle. They need a good finish to this set. Let me give you the tip. Bailey Ellis gets the ball, puts the ball deep. That is a better kick, Bomber. It goes right down into that left-hand corner. It gets to Marcus Carroll, I think that is, and immediately hitting a good tackle from Daniel Ellis and Bailey Taylor.
Defence has got to be good here. They've got him into a corner. Just let them make sure they get up and get a clear and kick away. You don't want to let them take their nose through and be able to play on the back of it.
Need some urgency, Bomber, in this advantage line here, the Rams. Here's James Bradley certainly dictating the play here. He's gone out to the left-hand side and he gives it on to Will Newhouse, who in turn gave that ball on to Morgan Amity, and they're tackled about 31 metres out, 15 in from touch from their own line. Here's Curtin Edwards, and he's had a fair game so far, Curtin Edwards. He hasn't shirked his task. He's tackled 35 metres out. The ball goes out the back from Johnson to James Bradley, and for once, James Bradley's had a bit of pressure put on him, but if he gets the right bounce, this ball's not going to go over the dead ball line. Bailey Taylor fields it inside his own in goal. He takes it out to the 10-metre line, and finally, he's tackled 15 out from his own line. Interesting bomber, Dylan Thorne, Rowan Pottinger, and Choppy Mackay have all come off the field. So who's gone on? Scrimger. Kirtley Lewis is making his reappearance after about 6 weeks, and also Ramon Jackson. So the three of them guys have gone on the field. I'd say Bailey Wooden will find himself at hooker here in a minute, Bomber.
Yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen. Or
the Rams in possession. They're 31 metres out centre field from their own line. Ball immediately goes from Jake Hardy to Josh Scrimger. How do you see this attack going?
Here. Lewis has gone to left half. Bailey Ellis over to right half. Hardy looks like he's dropped somewhere into the hook and roll.
Anyway, here we go. The Muswellbrook boys, they've kicked the ball downtown, and Logan Rudder fields it on his own 10-metre line. He's hitting a really good tackle there by Bartholomew, and Zachy Webb out there on the right-hand corner of the field. He finds himself about 18 metres out. Here's Newenhouse again. How many times have we said this today so far?
Good
Takes
tackle
off from dummy half, but he's hitting a really good front-on tackle from Scrimger. And Ramon Jackson. Ball goes to TJ Johnson, and he comes to the 30-metre line. He's down on his front. Good tackle there over the top by Wooden and Bankovic. Ball goes out to the left hand, the right-hand side to Jakey Smith. Ball goes on to Jordan Watson, and he's tackled right on the 40-metre line. Kirtley Lewis over the top. Ball goes to Rinkin. Rinkin charges toward the halfway, and that wasn't raked out. That was dropped.
Cox has gone to hooker for Singleton, and looks like
TJ will push back to lock, I'd say, mate. Yep.
Good tackle there from Jake Hardy and Kirtley Lewis, boys. Right on the halfway, it's a turnover and a scrum feed to the Rams. 6-4 on the MRS Services scoreboard. There's 14 minutes to go in this first half, minus semi-final here at Olympic Park. 6-4 to the Greyhounds.
So Jake Hardy's gone to hooker. Bailey Wooden will stay at lock. Kirtley Lewis has slipped into the left pivot role, if you want to call it.
Plenty of changes coming on, Bomber, and no doubt this it's been a fairly tough game in that middle, mate.
Yeah, yep. There's nothing in it at the moment. No side looks like they're taking the ascendancy yet.
See number 15 from Singleton's on, Carl Gilmore, boys. He's on. I don't know who's gone off the field. Bailey Ellis gets the ball
Gardner,
on the second tackle, and he goes forward. Good to see Bailey Ellis take the ball. Here's Joshy Scrimger. Charges up over the advantage line. That's a great run from Scrimger. Finds himself there, centre field, 22 metres out, options left and right. Ball goes to the right to Bailey Ellis. Short pass onto Adam Bartholomew. Really good tackle there from number 14, Nick Cox. Ball comes out to the left-hand side. Bailey Wooden gets on one-on-one with Dale Watson. It's the last tackle. They're only about 2 metres out. It's going to come out the back. Here's Ramon Jackson. Throws the dummies. Swivels out of one. Tries to get out of another. Unloads to Scrimger. There's nowhere to go. He shrugs off one. He's going to fall short just millimetres from the try line on the last. It's a turnover.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It didn't. It's no drama. It's a play the ball under the sticks. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what really happened there. But obviously they didn't get to the kicker, but no damage done.
What they don't need now is a penalty, Bomber. Yep. They need to be disciplined here in their defensive set. That's a high tackle and fair dinkum.
And that's exactly what you said, Benko. You don't want that.
Fair dinkum. Who's that? It's just Bailey Wooden's taken young Curtin Edwards around the melon, and he's paid the ultimate price there. Yeah. And here we go, a piggyback penalty and a little bit of ill discipline. Immediately, they don't need that garbage.
That's going to hurt him, Benko. Like you said, that I'm a bit with Bomber. You turn the ball over millimetres from line, and there's nothing ventured, nothing gained there. You can also turn that into a positive with a good hard D set and get the ball back. But that's exactly what you don't want is an undisciplined play in that end. Bailey Wooden, he might have cost a few points there.
Curtin Edwards is going off. I'd say he'll get an immediate HIA. That's a free substitute.
So who's the 17?
17
Daniel Higgins
is on. So here we go. So they'll have a tap restart.
Rinkin's also off for Singleton.
James Bradley's going to have a kick for touch. He's 10 metres out directly in front of his own goal post. He puts a really good kick out, and that's gone about 35 metres out from his own line. So there'll be a tap restart here. Ball goes on to number 15. It's Carl Gilmore, and he takes
Happy.
Happy Gilmore goes forward, and he's just shy of the halfway line. Good hit by 3 defenders. It needs to be more consistent. Ball goes out the back to Bradley. Bradley gets it on to Big Watson, and Watson goes forward, and he's hitting it finally in a good tackle. Goes through Kurtley Lewis before Jake Hardy finishes him off. Comes down this the right-hand side onto Jake Smith. Really good tackle there. Down below by Cooter Moylan, but Kurtley Lewis come in a little bit late over the top, and Joey Butler's made him pay there as a penalty to the Singleton boys.
That's Jakey Willis. He's come on for Mick Rinkin.
So Joey Butler's going to call Kurtley Lewis over. It was as he went down, he come over the top. So, look, I don't think there was a lot in that. But nevertheless, he's put that on report.
Don't know about that, Bengalla. I think he was going down. It was hard, yeah, but look, Jakey Willis has bounced straight back up. I don't think there's anything in it.
With the courtesy of
back-to-back penalties,
the courtesy of 2 penalties, Singleton are now going to find themselves on their 20-metre line.
Take your mistake down on your line there, Bomber. You're now 20 metres out from yours, yeah?
Fair income. Here's Jordan Watson with a tap restart. He charges at the Muswellbrook line, and underneath was Kurtley Lewis. Cooter Moylan's reeled out of that tackle. Went in there really roughly, but Joey Butler's called time off.
He got a headshot.
He did get a headshot. He went in there. He's reeled out of that tackle. I think there was 3 guys there tackling him at once. Bailey Taylor, Kurtley Lewis, and Cooter Moylan. And out of that, Cooter Moylan's found himself on his haunches now. He came out of that worse for wear.
It's how quickly a game can change, Bengalla. Like you literally pressure him on. We were talking about turning over a ball millimetres from a try line. Turn around to, let's say, 5 minutes later in the game when we're pressuring the other end of the field.
Yeah, disappointing there.
He's going to recover.
On Muswellbrook side of the coin, but yeah, just the silly football for they've actually gone 90 metres in the space of 2 penalties.
Ridiculous. But here we go. Here's a play the ball restart, and that's Jordan Watson. Number 14's Nick Cox at dummy half. He's had a fair season. Long ball out to Jake Smith. Cut out pass on to number 17, Daniel Higgins, and Higgins is going to get tackled 10 metres out directly in front from the Rams line. Nick Cox at dummy half, long ball out to Bradley. Bradley gives an outside pass. It goes to no one. It immediately goes to ground, and the Greyhounds have lost 10 metres. And Jacob Ellis tackles Morgan Ebony on the own 20. Ball goes out there to Carl Gilmore, and Gilmore takes the ball. He's 15 metres out, 10 in from touch. Ball goes to Nick Cox onto Bradley. Unders run with the big fella Daniel Higgins, and Higgins has lost that ball in that tackle, and he's coughed it up. Who was that? Ramon Jackson was on the receiving end of that. Here's Bailey Taylor. Good run from BT.
You've got to get on the back of that.
25 metres out from centre field. Really good run. Ball goes from dummy half onto Brady Bankovic. From dummy half was Bailey Wooden, and he's tackled 32 metres out from his own line, centre field. Ball goes out the right from Jake Hardy onto Ramon Jackson. They keep going forward. The Rams, this is a better set. Can they finish it with a bit of quality? 42 metres out from their own field. Ball goes to Kurtley Lewis. He comes across field, unloads to Cooter Moylan. Cooter Moylan puts a little chip through. Is he going to find touch, or is it Daniel Ellis has got the ball? He's unloaded to Cooter Moylan, 10 metres out. He tries to unload, but he goes himself. He's the last tackle. Here's Jake Hardy goes himself, puts a kick through. It comes off a Singleton player's legs. It goes to Cooter Moylan, and he tries to come down this short side, but it goes straight into touch. The intended recipient was Daniel Ellis, and it didn't even get to poor old Daniel, and it went straight over the sideline. Now there's a little bit of toing and froing. Jake Smith hasn't missed Cooter Moylan, who's taken offence at something Jake Smith said, but we all know Jake is very good Michael Ennis style on the sledge.
It didn't come to much, but the preface to that was there was some really enterprising football, and what Kurtley Lewis might have a little bit of niggle in his game and might give the odd penalty away. He'll cause a hell of a lot of danger to the Singleton defence if they're not on.
He's doing that well too, Bomber. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, look, I would have liked to have seen a little bit better quality there. Poor old Daniel just didn't have the room to move there, boys.
Poor finish, Benko.
It was. So here we go, the restart of the play, and it goes to Singleton, and they find themselves 15 metres out. Tommy Johnson gets the first ball. Here's big 17, Daniel Higgins, and Higgins takes it up over his own 20, centre field again. Ball goes out to the left-hand side to... I can't see who passed that ball, but here's Morgan Emity.
Watson.
Morgan Emity ends up with the ball, and he's charged up just shy of halfway, hitting a good tackle from Scrimger, and Ramon Jackson tries to milk the penalty. Ball goes from Will Newenhouse. Dummy half takes off again himself, hitting a good tackle. He's gone over halfway, centre field. Bartholomew and Scrimger with the tacklers. Jake Smith, long pass out to the right-hand side. Here the ball goes out here now to I can't see that number, boys. Who is it? Number 16, and that was Jake Willis.
Jake Willis, mate.
Jakey Willis. Ball goes out the back to James Bradley. Under pressure. Really good high kick. It's gone to no one, but it's gone forward off Dale Watson into the arms on the 30-metre line of Muswellbrook's side of halfway. Back into the arms of Bailey Ellis, who recovered really well. Jacob Ellis at dummy half. Scoots away from dummy half. That's rake. Dead set rake. So there's a...
dead set. In front of everyone. You can see it from here.
Blind man could have seen that.
Yeah, Jai would be disappointed there. He'd be really disappointed that it was a good kick. Muswellbrook were going nowhere, and he's an experienced player. He should
Boys,
know not to
the
rake
pressure
the
to James Bradley, for once, they finally really put the blowtorch on James just before he kicked that. So he was certainly pressured into a rush kick there.
Absolutely, but again, good chase from Singo. It was a good kick, well-centered kick, but obviously we didn't come up with the goods.
Yeah, we've seen some dumb relieving penalties here in the last 10 minutes.
Here's a tap restart on the MRS Services scoreboard. There's 7 minutes to go in this first half. It's 6-4 to the Greyhounds. Here's Muswellbrook in possession. Ball goes from Bailey Ellis onto Bailey Wooden. They find themselves centre field, 30 metres out. Here's Jake Hardy, turns it under for Scrimger, who runs in right behind the ruck again. They're set both sides of the ruck now. Hardy at dummy half, goes outside, but he finds a knock-on in the play. The ball, Joey Butler, and an easy, another cheap turnover of possession there for the Rams.
Played it forward with his foot there, I think, Benko, but he ended up, Singleton's been let off there. Dumb penalty from Higgins. That could have been the wooden penalty from earlier, mate.
Yeah. But in really good field position, boys. Seriously, you don't turn it over like that.
Yeah, I don't think either side's actually settled into the game yet. It's just stop, start, and it's right for the picking for one side to just dominate in the second half.
We're not in the grind bomber at the moment, are we? We're not in any sort of flow. There's like you say, it's very
stop, start, penalties,
absolutely
errors.
So from the scrum feed, the ball goes to Singleton. They've got the ball, and here's the big fellow Daniel Higgins. He comes into waiting arms of Benkovic and Bailey Wooden. They're about 28 metres out from their own line. Singleton trying to get out of this end zone. They come down a short right-hand side, and Thomas Johnson, as always, is full of running. He takes off. Here's number 14, and that's Nicky Cox. He's just tackled right on halfway by Bailey Wooden. And another penalty. Fair dinkum. This is just... They can't keep doing this.
Dumb footy,
They're
Benko.
going to pay for it. They're going to pay for the Rams, and Joey Butler's not having any of this, this laying on the tackle player.
We're 35 minutes into the game, Benko, and we haven't found any sort of groove to this match at all. It's been very hit and miss from both sides.
Yep.
Well, this next set of defence for the Rams is going to be telling. So now they've got the ball, 20 metres out, 10 in from touch, and it goes to Jordan Watson, and Watson comes to Benkovic, and he's hitting a good tackle from Joshy Scrimger. He finds himself 15 metres out, 20 in from touch. Ball goes to Nick Cox onto Higgins, and Higgins gets the ball and he charges forward, and he's tackled about 12 metres out from the Rams line. Pressure right on here. Nick Cox at dummy half. Higgins is playing the ball very slowly. Ball goes to Carl Gilmore. Wraparound play. Bradley goes himself, and he finds himself only 5 metres out. Good around the legs tackle from Bartholomew and Ellis. Plays the ball 5 metres out from the Rams line. Long ball out to Gilmore. Gilmore goes himself, and he's hitting a really good two-man front-on tackle from Scrimger and Jack and Bailey Wooden. Ball goes down the left-hand side to Newenhouse from James Bradley. Really good tackle. Goes to that short blind again. James Bradley goes himself. Has he rolled over on his back, or has he scored it?
No, it's a lost ball.
He's tried to unload it, but he's gone himself, James Bradley. So that's a breather. A real good defensive effort by the Rams, who forced that mistake on James Bradley.
Yeah, it was probably good defence by the inside player. The outside fella's gone up to try and take the intercept. Might have been Jake Ellis going for the intercept, and it's opened it up for James, and he nearly rolled over and scored.
They're all offside. Here's this Singleton line here. They've got to be careful. They don't want to compound it with a piggyback penalty to the Rams. Here's Bailey Wooden. He's going to play the ball about 32 metres out from his own line. Ball comes wide to Kirtley Lewis. Goes through Jordan Watson. He's gone back. He's still stepping off that favourable left spot. He's beaten about 3 players. He gives it out to Jacob Ellis on the halfway line, who makes another 15 metres, and he's tackled 35 metres out from the Singleton line. Adam Bartholomew goes from dummy half. He beats one. He gets to the 20-metre line. 15 in from touch. On the attack here, the Rams. Ball goes out from dummy half to Bailey Wooden. He goes over the top of, I can't see that guy. I think it was Higgins. Ball goes long out the left-hand side to Bailey Ellis. Long pass out to Curtly Lewis. Inside to Cooter Moylan. He juggled it. Cooter Moylan going to the try line. Has he only got a dive over? He scored!
What's he got?
No, he's dropped it. Joey Butler. I thought he placed that ball down on the line, but Joey Butler's called that he lost it.
Going to back you on a Benko. Look good for me.
Well, it's a 20-metre restart. So is that what happens after you drop it on the line?
Must have been a knock on.
Knock on over the line. Is that what he's called it? Okay.
Going to have to be.
Didn't hesitate, Joey Butler, but James Bradley's take that 20-metre restart. It's a quick tap restart. It gives us straight on to the second play. Under TJ Johnson. And Johnson had a little bit of a set to Cooter Moylan. Will Newenhouse again from dummy half. He comes straight into the waiting arms of Scrimger. And Scrimger tackles Newenhouse on the 40 metres line. They're still not halfway.
20.
Here's a 40-20 attempt by Jake Smith. It looks good out there. It's rolling towards the sideline. Bailey Taylor going to be quick, and it has! 40-20 by Jake Smith, always thinking they're going to try and play this ball quickly. They can't because there's about 200 players still to get onside.
3 years ago,
it's not an aerial. Settle down, folks.
Here's Nick Cox. The Rams are really on the blowtorch here. Nick Cox with a tap restart onto James Bradley, onto Daniel Higgins, and Higgins shrugs out a one, hitting around the legs by Ramon Jackson. He's 9 metres out. Ball goes out to Jake Smith. Short pass to no one. Will Newenhouse picks the ball up, runs in the open arms of Curtly Lewis and also Jake Hardy. They're 10 metres out from the Rams line, 12 metres in from touch. Cox at dummy half. Short pass on to Jake Willis and the big lanky second rower. He runs forward and it's a bit of a flop there. He was lucky to get away from that. Josh Scrimger. They play the ball 6 metres out. Ball goes out the back to Jake Smith. Onto Bradley, who's always dangerous. He finds Curtin Edwards out there full of running. Really good tackle around the legs by Jake Hardy. Going to the left-hand side. Onto Jake Smith. Little chip through. It comes onto Zach Webb. It's a restart. 6 to go. It hit the legs of Bailey Ellis and Jake Smith regathered it. Ball onto James Bradley at dummy half. Over there, I think that's, can't see that number, Nick Cox, I think. Ball goes out there, back inside, turns it inside to big Daniel Higgins, and Higgins has tackled 2 players there, tackling Bailey Taylor's one of them. They look tied, the Rams defence. They're going to go down that short. He runs himself from dummy half. Nick Cox, he's tackled only a metre out from the Rams line, directly in front. Tommy Johnson at dummy half, goes out the back to Jake Smith, on to Will Newenhouse, comes to Jordan Watson, steps up one, gives it over to Marcus Carroll, who juggled it, but he's going to get rammed over the sideline, and that he does by Curtly Lewis and Daniel Ellis. So it's a turnover to the Rams, and they needed that badly.
Yeah, a bit of good scramble there by the Rams. I honestly think Singleton, if they go to James Bradley's side all the time, if they're not going to come up with the points, they're going to cause Muswellbrook a hell of a lot of trouble.
It's havoc out there, Bomber, that's for sure. He'll create something out of nothing. He runs at speed. His defence is also A+. I tell you, he's a very hard young man to get through.
I don't know whether it's the fact that Smithy's overcalling or senses something on this side, but just James is. I think you just got to get the ball to James Bradley.
Do they really want to put this scrum down, boys? About 10 seconds to go before the half-time break. I think they're going to try and milk this right to the half-time break here. Joey Butler wants them to form the scrum, so Curtly Lewis feeds the scrum. And, look, he's not even going to go through with this, surely. He's called timeout, but the siren's gone.
I don't know what rule there.
He wants Curtly Lewis to feed the scrum. It's going out the back to Bailey Wooden. Please tell me he's not going to kick it. He does. Bailey Ellis gets the ball. He kicks the ball forward. Here's Logan Rudder with the ball. He takes the tackle right on the halfway line. Was that the smartest play in the book?
I'm not sure. I'm going to go with no.
Okay, so let's put an end to this first half. Proudly brought to us by the A+ Contracting and Poly Welding team. The MRS scoreboard sees the Singleton Greyhounds leading 6-4 over the home team, the Muswellbrook Rams, in this Group 21 minor semi-final.
Choppy Mackay back into the game, because Chop, although he probably not the biggest body in the middle of the field, he's a bit of a
very dynamic, mate. Very dynamic.
That's the word I'm chasing. But yeah, he could cause a bit of strife in the back end.
Well, here we go.
Out on the full.
40 minutes and
not the start you want.
Oh my goodness!
Not the start, but you called it early, Benko. You don't want to be putting that ball too high with that breeze. You don't want to be putting it like they are out there, mate.
Fair income. They're on the back foot straight away. It reminds me of the second half restart yesterday when Josh Watson dropped the ball right from that kickoff, and then Scone found themselves on the back foot yesterday against Aberdeen. Now here we have from the restart. Muswellbrook have kicked the ball from the second half restart. They've kicked it directly into touch out on the full. So here we go. The Singleton Greyhounds are going to find themselves right on the attack, 35 metres out from the Rams line. So they charge that ball forward. Find themselves 25 metres out from the Rams line. Ball goes to Higgins, and Higgins goes forward, as he has done since he has taken the field, and he's inside the 20. Centre field. Ball goes to Cox. Out the back to Jake Smith, who's had a blinder of a game so far. He gives it on to Bradley, and he gives it back inside to a running Morgan Emity. And Nick Cox at dummy after about 18 metres out from the Rams line. Here's Carl Gilmore, and he charges at the line. Really good legs tackle there by Ramon Jackson. Had to be made. Ball goes out to Nick Cox, on to Jake Smith. Long pass out the back to, who is that? That's Jake Willis. The tall, rangy boy is tackled 3 metres out from Bailey Wood and Bankovic. Last tackle goes to Jake Smith. Looks for a little chip through. It juggles across the ground, and Bailey Taylor collects it a metre out from his own try line.
Good
Big
kick.
set here coming up for the Rams. Ramon Jackson, that's the run you wanted, Bomber.
Yep.
Real good run.
Oh, he's
Cooter
offside.
Moylan at dummy half. The referee hasn't saw that play. He unloaded it to Bailey Wooden, who in turn gave the ball on to Bailey Taylor. He gets to the 30-metre line. Centre field. Short pass on to Bailey Wooden from Jake Hardy. Runs straight into the waiting arms of Carl Gilmore. Really good one-on-one tackle there. Stopped him in his tracks. Centre field. Ball goes out to the left to Kurtley Lewis. Kurtley Lewis puts a little chip through. It holds up into the breeze. But it's knocked on into the arms of Daniel Ellis. Gets it on to Cooter Moylan, and Moylan goes over to the corner to score. 10 in from touch, a lucky break from the Rams. First blood into the second half.
Costly error, boys.
Yeah, it was unusual too because they've kicked into the breeze and the ball looked like it held up, and I think it was Will Newenhouse got to the ball, spilled his lollies, and Dan Ellis picked. I think it was Dan Ellis. Was he picked it up, or Kurtley Lewis picked it up? But eventually the
Daniel
ball
Ellis
got back to Cooter Moylan, who was at 20-odd metres to run before.
Unlucky for the Greyhounds. I tell you, it was an unusual change.
Very similar to the try that I think Tim Smith called yesterday.
It was,
in
mate.
the same mould.
It was.
Anyway.
Bailey Ellis are going to try and convert this try. They're in front, the Rams, 8 points to 6. So the tail of the tape, he's 22 metres out, 10 in from touch. He's on the Muswellbrook Golf Club side down the southern end. And here we go. He's going to move in to try and convert it. Moves in, kicks it. It's coming around. Has it come around enough? It has. Good kick from Bailey Ellis. 10 points to 6 on the MRS scoreboard. Our second half, proudly sponsored by the Pertec offices in Muswellbrook and Singleton, Mal Willis and Gussie Mather. Thank you for that sponsorship there, boys. So that's what the Rams needed early in this second half. 36 minutes to go. We've only had 4 minutes of play, boys, and that was a fortuitous bounce for the Rams to score 4 points, first points in this second half. Big kickoff from the boys. He goes into the waiting arms of Bailey Ellis on his own try line. Comes into Jossie Scrimger, and that ball was raked out. Or is that Joey Butler saw? Yes, I thought Joey Butler was going to say that was a loose
Tough
carry.
call, Bomber.
I thought he was going to say it was a loose carry, Matt, because he did. I think he did hesitate a little
I'll
bit,
go
putting
loose.
that whistle to his mouth.
I'll go lose carry.
Here's Bailey Ellis with the kick for touch off the penalty on his own 20-metre line. He finds it 35 metres out from his own line. Ball goes to Cooter Moylan. Tap, restart. They're all offside. He delayed that. But he's actually said you need to take it back 2 millimetres, so he wasn't happy with that. Anyway, Cooter Moylan gets the ball and he gets to his own 40. 15 in from touch. Jake Hardy at dummy half. He's playing this hooker role now. Choppy Mackay, there's no sign of him yet. That's a dangerous tackle from Curtin Edwards and also Nicholas Cox. Not Nicholas Cox, Carl Gilmore, I should say. Joey Edwards, if he's put that other one on report, he's got to put this one on report, boys, has he?
Got to, mate. He's definitely not past the horizontal. That's into the vertical.
He's put that on report. That was dead set vertical. And thank goodness, was it Bailey Wooden or Jake Hardy that was?
Might have been the ex-Greyhound Jacob. Running into the old boys.
He's up.
Well, the flip side is now Singleton have got to dig in. They've give 2 back-to-back errors away now. They've got to dig in defensively here.
This D set's going to be big for him, Bomber.
That was an ordinary kick for touch, fellas. I'll just say that much. The wind's behind Bailey Ellis there, and he only found, 3 metres?
Anyway, Brady Benkovic gets the ball and he takes it off the first hit up and he goes forward. And the second play is into Bailey Taylor's arms and he makes it up over the 40. They're about 39 metres out. Ball goes, and they're centre field. Ball goes straight into the arms from dummy half into Josh Scrimger. He makes the 30-metre line. They're centre field. Hardy at dummy half. Short pass on to Bailey Wooden. Charges at the defence and Tommy Johnson and James Bradley are there waiting for him. He gets to the 20. 20 in from touch. Goes down the left-hand side. Here's on Curtly Lewis. Stands in the tackle, unloads to Jake Hardy, out to Cooter Moylan. Cooter Moylan tries to stand up Jordan Watson. He doesn't, and also Jake Smith comes in to support him. He's tackled 8 metres out, 5 in from touch. Down the blind end side, the short side was Jake Hardy, and Jake Hardy kicked the ball. Will Neuenhouse caught it like a slips fieldsman in his own in goal. And Bomber, I can hear you groaning in the background, and it was as bad as it sounded.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what Jake was trying to do then. I know he was a senior player and he's probably trying to get the repeat set, but they had Singleton on the rack there. They just needed to do something really smart and calm.
Another poor last tackle option, Bomber.
Yeah. You've used a good word there, poor. I would have found something a little bit more detrimental than that, Matty. But anyway,
been nice, Benko.
They're over halfway, the Singleton boys, and James Bradley, he gives it on to Curtin Edwards, and this young fella has charged up over the 40-metre line in the Muswellbrook field side of the field. Ball goes to Carl Gilmore again.
Singleton are jogging there, Benko. Again, no speed at the line there. There's no bodies in motion.
Here's Jake Smith. He puts a real good speculator up. And Bailey Taylor, if he does catch it, he's caught it in his own in goal. What a great take by BT. Because James Bradley was absolutely ramming down there to belt him if he didn't take that on the full.
Yeah, probably the last two. Jake Smith, and what was it? Jake Smith and Jake Hardy there probably would like both their last tackle kicks back.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he's tackled there Bailey Taylor, and Zach Webb runs from dummy half. He gets to the 38-metre line. Ball goes from Jake Hardy onto Bailey Wooden. He gets tackled just shy of the halfway. Tries a quick play the ball. Short pass to Benkovic. Benkovic goes forward into the waiting arms of, I can't see who that is. I think it's Daniel Higgins. And doesn't matter. Ball goes out the left-hand side to Curtly Lewis. Curtly Lewis throws a very ordinary left to right pass. Goes into the arms of Daniel Ellis, but Nick Martin on that far touch.
Singleton over on their haunches there, Benko. I'm not sure that I said fatigue earlier. I think we're going to need some fresh legs in that centre. Otherwise, we're going to see this open up real quick.
Bomber, the last two sets have been woeful by the Rams.
I'm just not sure what both sides are trying to do. Like the middle third of the field there's heavy fatigue already starting to set in. We're going to edges. There's just no space when they go to the edge.
Well, again, the Muswellbrook Rams have failed to finish that set of 6 with any quality at all. So here the Greyhounds get the ball from the scrum feed. They're on their own side of halfway, 38 metres out from their own line. Ball goes to James Bradley from dummy half. He scoots himself. He's taken down by Bailey Taylor. Now the next play goes to Morgan Emity, and Morgan Emity, the youngster, gets up over halfway, and he's hitting a good tackle from Wooden and Bailey Ellis. And he's tackled about 42 metres out from his own line. Here's Will Neuenhouse, and he charges forward, as he always does. Great attacking weapon the Singleton boys have in Will Neuenhouse. Ball goes on to Carl Gilmore, and Gilmore goes forward, and he's hitting a good front-on tackle. It's the last. Thomas Johnson at dummy half. Options to the left. They go that way. James Bradley, little bomb kick forward. He gets put down. There was nothing in that, but Joey Butler's found a penalty. He ran straight into the waiting arms. It was a good Oscar-winning performance by James Bradley.
Not an issue there, Benko. He certainly got it, mate. But either way, he was looking for it. It could have been fairly dangerous.
Well, here we go. They're going to get a repeat set in good field position now. The Singleton Greyhounds. It's 10 points to 6 on the MRS Services scoreboard. 30 minutes gone in this second half. Goes to Carl Gilmore, and Carl Gilmore off the tap restart. He's 5 metres out from the Rams line, directly in front. Ball goes long to Jake Smith out to the right, on to Jordan Watson. He stands up, Cooter Moylan. He goes to the corner, and he's tackled. Great tackle over there by, who's that? Curtly Lewis. Ball goes on to Will Neuenhouse, and Will Neuenhouse gets the ball. He beats one, he beats two, and he goes across field. He's centre field now, 12 metres out from the Rams line. James Bradley out the back calling for it. He comes out to him. He comes out to this left-hand side. Long pass out to Morgan Emity, and Morgan Emity gets through one. Bailey Ellis gets him by the collar and skull, drags him to the ground. They're 10 metres out. Johnson at dummy half. He goes himself. He gives a short pass on to Carl Gilmore, and he's tackled under the posts on the last 2 metres out. Options left and right. Back to the James Bradley as always. Little kick through. Is it going to beat him all over the dead ball line? And it does. 7 tackles set from the 20 restart.
Yeah, good defence by Muswellbrook. Singo threw a fair bit at him there, so it'll be interesting to see what they do next time they come down this end.
Jacob Ellis with that 20-metre restart, boys, and he makes some good ground. He made 20 metres there. The second place, centre field again, is Zach Webb. He goes himself there, and he finds himself 5 shy of halfway. He's Jake Hardy at dummy half. Good ball to Josh Scrimger, and Scrimger gets through James Bradley, and he gets up over halfway. Really good tackle by Cody Arge, and his defence has been solid. Here's Bailey Wooden. He gets through 1, gets through 2. Great run from Little Wooden. He finds himself 32 metres out centre field again from the Singleton line. Comes down this right-hand side. Bailey Ellis gets a ball. Long, flat pass out to Jacob Ellis. He's tackled by Morgan Emity, and they're inside the 20. 10 in from touch. Ball goes from Jake Hardy out to Bailey Wooden. He looks to pass it. He doesn't. He goes himself, and he's tackled on the last 10 metres out. What are they going to do? They come down the short right. Jake Hardy gets the ball again, and Jake Hardy goes forward, kicks the ball. It bounces off a Singleton player, and it's 6 to go into the waiting arms of Zach Webb, and it's a try in the corner to the Rams. Lucky again, boys.
Something from nothing again. We've seen it twice today, Benko. Straight off a short side play, which you thought probably would have thought the wrong option. I would have called Bomber, but obviously the Rams have turned something into
the MRS Services scoreboard, boys. It's 14 points to 6. 27 minutes to go in this second half, minor semi-final here between Singleton and Muswellbrook. Bailey Ellis has got the ball. He's taken it to about 22 metres out. He's 5 in from touch. He's going to try and convert this Zach Webb try. This will take him to a 10-point lead. He moves in. It's a shocker. Yeah. There's nothing else to say about that. He didn't follow through with that. That was like one of my golf swings.
I'd call it shanked, mate. That's what I'd call it, shanked.
Okay, so here's the Muswellbrook boys. There's 3 guys off the bench. We're going to see the likes of Rowan Pottinger, Choppy Mackay and Dylan Thorne. They're warming up on the sideline, and this might be really good timing for these 3 guys. They're fresh. They haven't been on since about halfway through that first half, Bomber.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to play well because scrimmages since he's been on has been good.
Absolutely.
Romain Jackson's thrown a bit at him. Romain probably hasn't got a lot of ball that he needs, but yeah, they've been good, the boys that have come off the bench. So these blokes have got to replicate their efforts.
Here's a restart. It goes down to from Will Newenhouse. It goes down into the waiting arms of Jake Hardy, who gives it on to Romain Jackson. And Romain Jackson, great run from Romain Jackson. He finds himself 15 metres out from his own line. Ball goes out to Scrimger for the second play. He's centre field again. He gets it up over his own 20. Jake Hardy at dummy half. Ball goes to Bailey Wooden, and Bailey Wooden comes back in behind the ruck, and he's hitting a really good tackle there by Michael Rinken, one-on-one. Good one-on-one tackle, and Bailey Wooden hasn't got up real well from that. Double inside run to Adam Bartholomew from Bailey Ellis. He gets up over his own 30, 35 metres out, down the short side again. Bailey Ellis with the ball. That's a better kick right into the waiting arms of Will Newenhouse, who receives it 15 out from his own line, but it was a much better kick. He's hitting a really good chase. He's going to get dragged over the sideline. No, he doesn't. He goes to ground. Really good hit from Jacob Ellis and Zachy Webb. This defence unit looks good now from Muswellbrook. They don't want to give it away with a silly ill-discipline penalty. Here's the big Cody Argent again from the lock forward. He goes forward just shy of halfway.
Lukey Gardner back on there, mate.
Yeah, Lukey Gardner's back on. Here's Dale Watson, and Dale Watson goes to halfway. Good leg tackle from Benkovic over the top. Bailey Wooden and Josh Scrimger. They're inside the Muswellbrook half. Ball goes out to Jake Smith out to the right-hand side onto Jordan Watson. Long pass, he comes to Cooter Moylan. Cooter Moylan hits him one-on-one. 40-metre line, 10 in from touch. Singleton, it's the last. Jake Smith gets a ball. Grubber kicks it through. They're going to let it roll over about 15 metres out from their own line. The Rams, they'll have a scrum feed, and they're in possession here. Jake Smith, he just need to get it out there and down there as far as possible, Matty and Bomber.
Moreland's playing well down that left side for Muswellbrook too, mate. He's been in absolutely either. Every time he's touched the ball, he's looked very dangerous.
I'm not 100% sure whether he's a natural centre or not. I think he's more a fullback, Matt, so it's probably...
Bit out of position there today, but I'll tell you, mate, he said, Benke, you mentioned his name several times, and I'll tell you, he's in the thick of everything out there.
That was probably Muswellbrook's better defensive set, probably best defensive set for the the half, and that's when Smithies identified that and thought, well, geez, they've hammered us in this set. Let's get into touch and have a breather.
Joey Butler called timeout off the scrum boys. Jacob Ellis was down just receiving a little bit of attention, but he's sweet now. I see in the background Will Neuenhouse is also receiving attention, but Joey Butler, is he waiting for Will to... yes, he sorted that out. It's all good. Scrum feed to the Rams. They're about 10 metres out, 20 in from touch from their own line. They need a good outset here. Bailey Taylor from the scrum base gets it. He's get tackled 10 metres out from his own line. Good tackle there by Curtin Edwards. Here's the ball. Goes to Romain Jackson. He's go forward with Josh Scrimger, who's been superb in this half so far, or this game. Jake Hardy at dummy half. Short pass to Benkovic, who runs straight into the waiting arms of Michael Rinkin and TJ Johnson over the top. He's about 25 metres out from his own line. He gets up a little bit sore, Benkovic, but it goes to Wooden the next play. He gets to the 30, centre field. Hardy at dummy half. They come down this side. Hardy runs from dummy half. That is another ordinary kick, boys. It goes into the waiting arms of Logan Rudder, and it wasn't the greatest of kick, but it was a fair chase. Let's put it that way.
Knock on in any other day.
He jumped from dummy half. That's a flat pass to James Bradley. It's gone nowhere, and. Out the back there in the back play, I see Curtly Lewis runs forward. Curtly Lewis ran forward. It's a turnover here. Joey Butler's found a turnover from James Bradley, who looks really optimistic towards Jesse Rudder on this side of the field for some help, but Joey Butler's no help at all, and Joey Butler's called that James has lost that in the tackle. Just quickly, Curtly Lewis on the far side of the field ran up in defence and he went down. I think he tripped over, but he got up and he was he looked like he was carrying a little bit of a leg injury there.
He might have just rolled an ankle or something like that, so hopefully the boys just settle down here and play a little bit of football. They've got field position, which they've been chasing for the last few minutes. So.
Well, we know Singleton aren't going to give up easy, Bomber, so it's a Muswellbrook scrum feed, 40 metres out from the Singleton line. Geez, that's an ordinary pass from Curtly Lewis out to Cooter Moylan. Good hands from Cooter Moylan, saved some embarrassment there.
And he's to score off that play. It must have.
Goodness me. He's tackled 40 metres out from the Singleton line, 10 in from touch, 20 in from touch. Here's Dylan Thorne, who's on. They've made their changes now. A big Rowan Pottinger's on there as well, and Choppy Mackay's gone back to dummy half. Thorne's tackled there. Curtly Lewis goes to the short side. Pass to Cooter Moylan. Cooter Moylan goes to Michael Rinkin, and Rinkin has tackled him. He pushed him off, but in doing so, he's coughed the ball up cold as a spud. So that set came to nothing at all, and it is a Singleton scrum feed, 12 metres out from their own line, 20 metres in from touch. What was that, Bomber? Did I miss something there?
I'm not sure whether he was trying to pass, but it's got this feel that the last two games that they've played against Singo, they've had a lead. They can't put the icing on the cake. Singleton are just going to hang in here, and don't be surprised if they come over in the last 5 minutes to win the game.
Goodness me. There's three sets with no real quality. Here's James Bradley from the scrum base, and he runs straight into the waiting arms of Bailey Taylor, the two youngsters, and Bailey Ellis. And they push him back. He's about 11 metres out from his own line, 20 in from touch. Tommy Johnson at dummy half onto Luke Gardner, who's back on the field. Skips around Dylan Thorne, who gets up, and he's dead set rolled an ankle. And Luke Gardner runs into Benkovic and Pottinger. They're 30 metres out. Benkovic goes in for another tackle with the help of Curtly Lewis, and that's on Big Daly Watson. And he's tackled 35 metres out from his own line, 15 in from touch. Johnson at dummy half, onto Gardner, back onto Cody Argent, and Argent gets up over his own 40, centre field. Bartholomew, the tackler. Ball goes to Jake Smith. Wasn't a 40-20. Puts it deep into the Muswellbrook corner. Grandstand side. Jacob Ellis is going to field it 10 metres out, right on his own try line, I should say. He comes back centre field. He runs across field into the waiting arms of Jordan Watson and also Michael Rinkin, and they pick him up and roll him backwards. He's about 12 metres out from his own line. Bailey Taylor, Cooter Moylan at dummy half, I should say, and Cooter Moylan goes forward from dummy half, and he's hitting a high tackle, and Joey Butler saw that and certainly blown the penalty, and that's a let-off for the Rams there, and this will be a good set downtown if they can find some decent ground with this kick for touch.
They've got to compose themselves here in attack. They're all over the place. I don't know who's the general. Just get some go forward and just go to an edge after some go forward. They're just... As I said, all first half, they're trying to go to space that's not there.
On the MRS Services scoreboard, it's 19, just under 20 minutes to go, and it's 14-6 to the Rams, and it's got a bit of... That was raked out. That was knocked down and raked out, surely. And that was from Benkovic, and now the Singleton boys, they've got the set now. They've got a turnover, and it goes to Dale Watson.
Penalty.
That was a penalty by all money. And here's the compounded this, the Rams, and now it's a Singleton penalty. And someone has said something. Joey Butler's penalised them.
Said he got him high.
Another set. I was going to say this has got a little bit of a smell to their last victory here, or their last loss to the Rams. They just haven't completed a set of 6 in the last 4 sets.
Yeah, there's no composure out there in attack. It's evident. They're all over the shop.
And that's a hell of a kick for touch there by Jakey Smith. He's found touch 2 metres out on the roadside there. Here we go. Marcus Carroll's going to have a tap restart 2 metres out from the Rams line. The Rams, they've just gone into a little bit of a shell here, Bomber. What's going on here? Little play the ball to Rinkin, and Rinkin, no, he wasn't happy with that, Joey Butler. He didn't tap that forward there.
Got to tap it on his foot.
Goodness me.
Rubbish,
all right. Here's Michael Rinkin. He gets the ball and he's tackled 3 metres out from the Rams line. Tommy Johnson at dummy half. Long, deep pass out to Jake Smith. Cuts 3 out. Goes to James Bradley. On to Curtin Edwards, and he coughed it up 10 metres out. Turnover back to the Rams. Well, either side really are just shooting themselves in the foot, Bomber.
Well, at the moment, if there was anyone from Scone here, they'd be rubbing their hands together because neither of these sides are even going to threaten them, let alone threaten Aberdeen in a fortnight. They need to get themselves into some mental state here where they can complete a set
and get to a kick.
Yeah,
let's try that, eh?
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Well, I was going to say I wish someone would play some smart football. But
let's just complete a set, eh?
This turnover stuff is garbage, and both sides, you're 100% right. This is the first. What can they do from this? That was a high tackle, but he hasn't got it, and that was Marcus Carroll on Curtly Ambrose.
Curtly Ambrose.
Curtly Lewis, I should say.
We need him coming off the back fence.
Daniel Ellis with the ball. He's tackled there. Ordinary pass from dummy half from Choppy Mackay onto Rowan Pottinger, but he makes it to his own 40-metre line. They're centre field. Choppy Mackay, this is the second. Bailey Ellis gets the ball, turns it under for Dylan Thorne, who in turn passes an inside ball to Bailey Taylor, who's immediately hitting a good, really good tackle from Tommy Johnson and Luke Gardner. Shy of halfway. Here's Rowan Pottinger with the ball, centre field, first receiver.
Choppy needs to jump out of dummy half.
I'd love to see
and get some roll on.
I'd love to see him run himself. Long ball out the back again to Curtly Lewis, who puts a massive, towering bomb up straight into the waiting arms of Will Newenhouse. But what's happened here? What's he called?
A block.
It's a penalty.
A block. He's got him for a block.
A block.
I was going to call no pressure there, Bomber, because he had oodles of time. Yeah. I didn't see anything wrong with that, to be honest with you.
A block on the kick pressure.
Have a look at our timing here, guys.
Me.
Every time we go to execute, Muswellbrook did their single and did it just before. We seem to stop when we have to get the ball because we're overrunning.
Yep, that's it.
It's almost like we should be two paces behind.
It's
yeah?
a dead set circus and a comedy of errors from both sides.
Yeah,
neither team can finish a set here. Let's see what happens here with this Singleton. They got the ball, 45 metres out, 10 in from touch from the Rams line. So they get up to play the ball, and that was, I can't see who that player was. I think it was the winger. Anyway, ball comes out to Dale Watson. He tries to go forward, centre field. He gets to the 30-metre line. He's hitting a good tackle from Bailey Wooden and Adam Bartholomew. Johnson at dummy half. Gets a ball short left play to Luke Gardner. Luke Gardner steps in front of 2 players.
Oh.
That's gone forward. Another loose carry there. Dylan Thorne came right up into the face of James Bradley and put the pressure on him and coughed it up cold as a spud. A little bit of a set to play here between Dylan Thorne and Luke Gardner. A little bit toing and froing. You know, realistically, and I'll call it for what it is, they'd be better off trying to concentrate on finishing a set of 6.
Yeah,
that's handbags at 10 paces, Benko. That's what that is.
Yeah, both sides. Muswellbrook, obviously, if Muswellbrook can score next, they probably wrap the game up. But I feel if Singleton score, they could probably put 3 on them. It's just a weird old game.
You know
of
what?
footy at the
I'd
moment.
love to see either side finish a set of 6. Let's be fair dinkum. Time out. And now Joey Butler's calling Dylan Thorne out here from the scrum. It's a Muswellbrook scrum feed. They're 31 metres out from their own line, 20 in from touch. I'd love to see either side finish a set of 6 with some quality. Because as you said, Bomber, Scone, if there's any Scone players here, they'd be fair dinkum loving this. Here we go, scrum feed, time back on. 15 minutes to go, 15 and a half minutes to go in this minor semi-final. The MRS Services scoreboard is 14 points to 6 in favour of Muswellbrook. Second half sponsored, proudly brought to us by Pertec in both our Muswellbrook and Singleton offices. scrum feed. Out the back to Bailey Taylor. He goes one way. He goes himself, BT! He's over halfway. Has he got the legs? He gives it on to Jacob Ellis. He goes himself, Jacob Ellis. He's tackled to 10 metres out right in that corner. Daniel Ellis is the dummy half. Singleton is still getting onside. Ball goes to Bailey Taylor. On to Cooter Moylan. Cooter Moylan shows the dummy to the right. Goes himself. He tried to unload it. I thought he might have dropped it. He's only 5 metres out. Choppy Mackay, dummy out. They've only got to get the ball out to the right-hand side of the field. But Joey Butler's found a penalty in there, so it's going to be a Muswellbrook penalty. Choppy Mackay takes the tap forward. Tap restart. On to Kirtley Lewis. On to Bailey Wooden. He takes it inside the 10. He's still going forward. He's 5 metres out. Bailey Ellis at dummy half. They go down that blind. The light pole's in the road. It goes on to Adam Bartholomew. He charges at the line. He's pulled up short. Good tackle by Cody Argent. Ball tackled. Here's Choppy Mackay. He goes for one of his usual rolls from dummy half. He makes no ground at all. Bailey Wooden at dummy half. He's hurt in that too, Choppy Mackay. He's hurt himself. He got twisted in that tackle. Bomber, they should have... Again, the ball needs to get out there quicker than that.
Yeah, I think we've come this short side too early. I think we went on for a long shift after that long break there. If we could have just... If Muswellbrook could have just got to the middle of the field and play with some shape, there was no shape to attack from. It was just a case of let's have a bit of a run with the football with no shape.
We've got a big back line set out here to the left, Bomber, and meanwhile we've got Choppy Mackay. He's only a metre out. He's getting attention now, and so the Singleton defence has reset. Bailey Wooden's ready to go to dummy half. Choppy Mackay's up on his feet, which is a great sign. So he'll play the ball very shortly when Joey blows time on. Let's see if the Rams can do something with this set of 6, but the Singleton defence is all set, ready to give it to them.
I think the game's open, boys, for either of these halves, Singleton or Muswellbrook, to grab this game and really take control
Time
of it.
on.
And when
out
they do
the back from Kirtley Lewis, out to Bailey Ellis, out the back to Brady Benkovic. Brady Benkovic gives a short pass on to Bailey Taylor into Daniel Ellis, and Daniel Ellis dives over and scores a great try in the corner. More constructive play, and that was better than it has been, boys, and a great try to the Rams.
It looked good, but unfortunately, Singleton on a set play after a stoppage in the play of the ball. Obviously, Jai would be filthy with that. They didn't throw too much at him to create it, but at the end of the day, Singleton just didn't adjust to a shift off a stoppage.
Muswellbrook have regrouped, and they've all gone to their set positions back there. Here's Bailey Ellis. He moves in. He kicks it. It looks damn good, and it has. It's over the post. 14 points in front, the Rams, and that is a bit of a breather space for the Rams. They've got to score 3 times now, the Singleton Greyhounds, but as we've seen before, Bomber, you cannot rest on your laurels in a game like this. There's still 12 and a half minutes to go. MRS scoreboard, second half. Proudly brought to us by Pertec, Muswellbrook and Singleton officers. It's 20 points to 6. Here's the restart from Jake Smith. A really good kick down. It comes into Kirtley Lewis. He lets it hit him in the chest. It goes to ground. He's giving it back to Dylan Thorne, who charges up to his own 20-metre line. He takes it, gives it on to Cooter Moylan, who goes down a short side again, onto Kirtley Lewis. Kirtley Lewis gets around 2. He's got Daniel Ellis in support. Inside ball. He goes to ground, and Tommy Johnson tackles him. 32 metres out from the Singleton line. Kirtley Lewis at dummy half onto Cooter Moylan. He gives a middle pass over to Rowan Pottinger, who takes the tackle. They're centre field, the Rams. Good run out wide there. Rowan Pottinger gets the ball. He takes the ball. They're 25 metres out. Short pass on to Bailey Ellis. Another good pass to Adam Bartholomew. He's tackled 18 metres out. 15 in from touch. Here's Bailey Ellis. Gets the ball. Short pass to Bailey Wooden. Comes to Tommy Johnson. Tommy Johnson tackles him one-on-one. It's the last for the Rams. What are they going to do? They've got options left and right. They come down their right-hand side onto Bailey Ellis. Bailey Ellis puts a little chip through. The light pole's in the road again, but unfortunately, who was that? It's a penalty to Joey Butler's found a penalty for the Singleton boys.
I think you're going to say a penalty to the light pole.
Logan Rudder recovered that ball in goal. That damn light pole. Fair dinkum, chop it down.
I think we'll pick the light pole for the 21 side next year, will we?
Here's the tap restart off that kick for touch. That penalty to the Singleton. It's gone in field. Here's James Bradley. They're waiting for another ball to get taken off the field. James Bradley kick, tap, restart. Gives it on to Curtin Edwards, and he charges to the Muswellbrook defence. He's going to be pulled down just shy. Look at that post-contact meters, boys. Great stuff from the young fella. Tackled on the halfway line.
Is that the light post?
The dummy half onto Luke Gardner, and Luke Gardner charges up over the halfway line. And they found another penalty there. Joey Butler, a high tackle.
No, what it was he called Dylan Thorne off.
We're not going to have much time because Singleton will want a quick
call
restart
him off,
here.
And Dylan's going through and just not.
Was it Dylan
contact.
or Rowan Pottinger?
No, it was Dylan. He called him off.
Okay, James Bradley takes a kick for touch. They're going to find themselves 22 metres out from the Rams line, 10 in from touch. Tap restart to Morgan Emity. Morgan Emity goes to the defence. He's hitting a good tackle from Bailey Ellis around the legs, and Zachy Webb over the top. 15 metres out from the Rams line. Here's the ball onto Luke Gardner. They won't want to go to sleep on Luke Gardner. He made them pay last time. 20 points to 6. They're 5 metres out. Johnson at dummy half. Goes one way. Gives it on to Will Newenhouse, and he goes over for a try. Set play there, boys. Set play.
Great execution too, I tell you. That had the boys in 6s and 7s real quick.
Yeah, it had me that confused. But, yeah, basically, Tommy Johnson's just come out and showed inside to one, and then Will Newenhouse has come up through the middle of the ruck.
Well, they went to sleep there, the marker defence, and that inside defence went to sleep, dead set, ordinary. It's MRS scoreboard. That takes the score to 20 points to 10. 17 metres in from touch on the grandstand side. He's going to try and convert this try. I don't think he'll have any problem because he's a legend at kicking. 8.5 minutes to go, and he doesn't. He puts it over. Extra 2 points, 20 points to 12. They still need to score twice, but it's not beyond them. The Singleton Greyhounds and Muswellbrook really need to pick this up, and this set of defence will be very, very crucial indeed. And the most important thing is, every time they've come down there, they seem to be able to find some way possible for Joey Butler to give them a reason to blow a piggyback penalty.
There you go, Bengo.
Here's the restart. Goes into the waiting arms of James Bradley, and that man, Luke Gardner. He will take the ball forward, and he's hitting a good tackle from Bailey Ellis and Zach Webb. He's tackled 12 metres out from his own line. Ball goes out the back to James Bradley. Looking to Jake Smith. Jake Smith gives an ordinary pass to Will Newenhouse, who took it exceptionally well. Ball goes out there, and I think that's Marcus Carroll, and Marcus Carroll has taken a good tackle. Here's big Cody Argent, and Cody Argent has taken the ball forward. Good go forward at the moment, and good get out of their own red zone by the Greyhounds. Onto Smith, out the back to James Bradley, who gives a short pass to Curtin Edwards. Great tackle from Bailey Ellis. Here's Bradley again from dummy half. He gets under one, gets under two, and if they're not careful, they need to go low. He gets over halfway. It's the last tackle. They need to get off him quick. Last tackle, ball goes to Jake Smith. What's he going to do? He's put a massive bomb over into that right-hand corner. Daniel Ellis is under it. What a take from Daniel Ellis. Takes it 15 metres out from his own line. He takes it to centre field. He comes to big Dale Watson, and he's smothered there by Dale Watson. Looking for a one-on-one strip. It doesn't happen. Cooter Moylan at dummy half. He takes the ball, dances around a little bit, goes forward. He makes about 2 or 3 metres, and he's hitting a big tackle there by Dale Watson and Tommy Johnson. He's tackled 35 metres out centre field from his own line onto Benkovic. He needs to hang on to that ball. He comes into the waiting arms of Jake Willis and Daniel Higgins, I should say. Ball goes to Choppy Mackay from dummy half. He goes at himself. He gets over halfway. They needed to be smart there. Really good tackle from Jakey Smith. Ball comes out to the left-hand side onto Dylan Thorne. One out stuff, but he takes it forward. He gets to the 40-metre line. It's the last tackle. They need a good finish here. Curtly Lewis gets the ball. Little chip over the top. He tries to regather. He does so. It gets his feet. He pops it up back to Daniel Ellis. It's play on. Onto Bailey Wooden. He unloads to Daly Taylor. And Bailey Taylor's over. Try time for the Muswellbrook Rams.
That's good footy, boys. I tell you, that's just keeping the ball alive, eh?
Yeah, well, I would have thought drill it into touch. But obviously, Curtly Lewis thought different. He's chip chased. He's regathered. He's got a ball off the ground, not held. There was balls everywhere going. Players coming over.
As a chip chase, I'd reckon it was the worst one I've seen.
Bailey Taylor's end up scoring, but I don't know how to describe it.
He's going to try and convert this to make it 26 points to 12. Another very important conversion kick, Bomber.
Yep, and it'll be the third try from a kick, wouldn't it? From basically ricochet or chip chase, and Yeah, so I think it's the third time.
Broken play.
Yeah.
Well, they've had some fortuitous bounces in their favour, the Rams, and I must say, luck has got them out of this right on this occasion. Bailey Ellis moves in. He puts it straight over the post. 26 points to 12. 4.5 minutes to go here in the minor semi-final here at Olympic Park to the Rams. Thank you to Pertec and Muswellbrook, our Muswellbrook and Singleton officers for our second half sponsors, and MRS Services on our scoreboard. 26 points to 12, boys, before the restart. Quickly, Matty.
Mate, I think Muswellbrook have found a bit of a groove. It's taken us a while, Benko, but I think they found a groove.
Well, they try a little quick play the ball, and the ball goes straight to Benkovic, but it seriously bounced straight over his melon. He's straight over his melon, so Singleton will have a restart scrum here. 38 metres out. Sorry, 28 metres out from the Rams line. He tried the kick, Will Neuenhouse, and it, Jake Smith, I should say, and it rolled along the ground, point to point. It come to Brady Benkovic, and it went straight up over his head. So here we go, scrum feed to the Singleton Greyhounds, 28 metres out from the Rams line. There's 3.5 minutes to go here, 26 points to 12. They go down the short side.
Oh,
is it a one-on-one strip to Kirtley Lewis? It comes from the scrum base, boys. Tommy Johnson got that ball from the lock position. He ran down that short side, and Kirtley Lewis hit him in a tackle. I think as he was stripping it, did he knock it on? How's Joey Butler saw this, boys?
I can't see the arm. I think it's going to go to Singleton.
Yeah, it looks like Jakey Smith's on the other side of the scrum with the ball in his hand.
No, he's got his hand out on the right, has he? No?
No,
It's a Muswellbrook feed.
Muswellbrook feed.
It's a Muswellbrook feed. Kirtley Lewis has done well there. Scrum base, feed out. Goes to Josh Scrimger from the scrum base, and he's picked up and he's hitting a good tackle there. They're 28 metres out from their own line, the Rams. Here's Rowan Pottinger, takes the ball forward, charges into the waiting arms of Luke Gardner and Tommy Johnson. Them two boys will not give up. And Curtin Edwards is in there as well. Here's Josh Scrimger, takes the ball. Feed income. Have a look at the effort by Tommy Johnson to try and force a loose carry here. Here's Dylan Thorne, I should say. Dylan Thorne goes out wide and plays the ball 48 metres out. He gets over halfway from the restart. Jake Hardy, I think that is, darts from dummy half. He plays the ball 32 metres out from the Singleton Greyhounds line. Goes to the short side onto Kirtley Lewis and puts a chip up high. Bailey Taylor comes through and spills it in his effort to try and regather that little kick. 11 metres out from the Singleton line. It's going to be a Singleton ball, and they're going to have possession 11 metres out from their own line, 10 in from touch.
Yeah, about a minute and a half, or nearly 2 minutes to go now, Banco. But yeah, she's all over now. But Singleton's probably just hasn't capitalised on the small opportunities he got in the second half, and the luck of the bounce in Muswellbrook's case has probably got them home. But yeah, there's a lot more improving to do. But Muswellbrook go ahead in that minor semi and meet Scone next week, which will be a great clash up at Scone Park.
Well, here's Singleton just in the final seconds of this first half. There's a minute and a half to go, and James Bradley put the kick through. But here's Joey Butler's found a penalty against Singleton. There was, I didn't quite see that, boys. I was watching the aftermath of where this kick was going to bounce.
I don't know, the signals.
Is he called offside? That's what he's called, Joey Butler, yes. He's
called
explained
offside
to
there,
Lukey Gardner and Jake Smith that there was a couple of players in front of James Bradley, and Muswellbrook will have
the play the ball boys.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Bailey Ellis is going to kick for touch here. There is under a minute to go. It's on the MRS Services scoreboard. It's 26 points to 12. And Zach Webb with the tap restart takes it forward. They're 21 metres out. He gets to the 10-metre line. He's still going, Zachy Webb. He's tackled 5 metres out by Tommy Johnson. Here's the ball from Jake Hardy at dummy half. Long ball out to Bailey Ellis. Equally long ball out the back to Cooter Moylan. He steps twice off his left foot. He goes over untouched under the post to score. The finishing try for the Rams, and that wraps it up. 30 seconds to go. It'll take it to 30 points to 12. Muswellbrook will advance to play Scone in the prelim final next week at Scone Park.
Yeah, Moylan just got the ball there, just throwing an exaggerated inside ball dummy, and the Singo boys have took it and he scored under the post, but the game was well over before that. But
stood up like a sack of spuds, Bomber.
the Singleton boys here, I see Dale Watson calling them all in there. He's a old experienced campaigner, premiership winner for Singo. We'll be the same, boys. I know we're not going to get the chocolates today, but I know they're building for something big down there, so he'll be reiterating that to the boys behind the try line at the moment.
And just to finish off, there's the siren for full time, and Bailey Ellis converted that try by Cooter Moylan. and they'll be pleased with the way they finished that game off. And I've got to say, boys, both sides had their opportunities, but in the telling point, Matty Kenny, Muswellbrook just had a couple of lucky bounces for some real optimistic kicks there. They got the lucky bounce, and they cleared away right at the death there in the last 10-15 minutes to take this match out on the MRS scoreboard, 30 points to 12. Matty?
But while you say that, Benko, yeah, there were some lucky bounces there. Singleton didn't capitalise on quite a few opportunities we had close to the line there, mate. Look, again, Muswellbrook played well. They towards the end of the game, we were struggling. We said all for either team to find a groove. About the 30-minute mark or 20-minute mark in that second half, I think Muswellbrook did find a little bit of groove. They found a bit of space out wide, the space you're looking for earlier in the game, Bomber. They sort of found it down that left edge with BT and the Ellis boys down the wing and capitalised fairly well on it, mate.
Yeah, well, I think that the performance for today was Tommy Johnson's probably kept Singleton in the game probably 3 times there with chases on the Ellis boys and stopped them from scoring and that. But Singo should be proud of their efforts this year. They've given Muswellbrook a hell of a lot of trouble all year. Two times they've beaten them, once at home, once away. But for Muswellbrook, I thought Bailey Wooden again was strong. Kirtley Lewis, after a bit of a shaky start, getting penalised early, sort of created a lot of space and a lot of doubt in the mind of the Singleton defence. But all in all, good win by Muswellbrook. They'll move on to play Scone next week. And more importantly, the West Tigers beat the Canberra Raiders 22-20.
Oh dear, that'll do me.
Bomber, before we go, I wanted to just acknowledge I thought Jossie Scrimgeour was outstanding when he came on from the bench, and so was Ramon. They did some hard tackles and they took the ball forward really well. It's just a shame that on far too many occasions they need to learn from this. I know it was Cooter Moylan and Kirtley Lewis's first game for a number of weeks, and certainly it was good signs at the end. But I'd love to see some better finishes to their sets, and if that's one little area they can improve on and force it right into Scone, that's one area that they need to focus on next week.
Right, Choppy Mackay there too. It certainly when he came back on there, he certainly added that extra dynamic, Benko. But look, full credit to the boys. I think Scone got a little bit to work on next week, Bomber, if they're going to get around them. Muswellbrook will have to find their groove a whole lot earlier because Scone will not allow them or forego the opportunity that Singleton did today to find that groove. I think Scone will capitalise a whole lot quicker than what we did today, mate. Yeah,
different dynamic next week up at Scone. Scone blew Muswellbrook away early last time they played him here at Olympic Park, and Muswellbrook come back. It was close, but by all reports, it was a long way from being a 2-point game. Scone was sort of dominant for long periods in that game, but that pressure of semi-final football can do a lot of things in the mind, and I see Singleton's prospective new signing out there talking to the boys, Reggie.
Yeah, Paul Nuasala, of course. That's going to be a big boost to the competition next year, boys. I can tell you that right now. But
should be interesting.
I've got to ask you a question. Who's your player of the match?
Tough one.
I'll go Bailey Wooden just for sheer effort. There was a lot of blokes who might have been a lot more flashier than Bailey, but when Muswellbrook needed some go forward and some stability with the football, I just thought Bailey done what Mitch Marsh does for Aberdeen, what Dan Ritter and those blokes do for the other clubs, and what Luke Gardner and Dale Watson do for Singleton. I just go for Bailey just for sheer effort going forward.
But he and straight into the 9 position there, Bomber didn't lose any go forward straight away. So very versatile, straight from the lock to the 9 position, back to the lock. I don't think he actually had a break today, mate.
No break for Bailey.
But in the Singleton ranks here, I'd say they'll call it a rebuilding year. I don't subscribe to that. What I see out there is at least 8 young men. Yep. In either 18 or 19 years old. Yep. That's going to be tough next year, Bomber. They're just sort of finding their groove as a young team. Yep. They got some old ins in there, in the Lukey Gardners, the Dale Watsons, as you already called them out, mate. But I reckon look out for that next year. They'll find that bit of a pattern. They'll find that groove, and look to get to where they are from a lot of people that didn't necessarily give them any chance at the start of the year, mate. They're up there as contenders.
The big thing is, mate, they've got a plan put in place. It's not ad hoc. They're not just going to say, well, we'll start next year and we'll do something. Joy and the committee and whoever's running the club have decided this is the direction we're going to go. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, I don't know. The time will tell. But what they're doing is putting a definite plan in place, and that's great forward thinking by whoever's in charge.
That man out there, Joy Bailey's a guy in control. He's the president of the club, at the first grade club, mate. I tell you, added that whole new dynamic in a business plan, as you might call it, a player roster. And he's rotated quite a few young blokes. A lot of blokes have made their debut this year, and he sort of tested the waters in a few areas. Like you say, and Benko's just called him a young Ethan Cullen-Edwards. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. 17-year-old, by my 18-year-old, and he's playing his first grade and played most of the game, most of the season up there. He'll be another Lukey Gardner. He'll be in the club for 20 years and still be playing as good as you go.
Rightio, boys. Well, that's it for us here at Olympic Park today for the A+ Contracting and Muswellbrook Pertec and Singleton Pertec commentary. We will be up in Scone next week when Muswellbrook travel up there for all 4 grades. Of course, Muswellbrook and Scone in first grade, Aberdeen, Muswellbrook in reserve grade. In the Ladies League tag, it's Merriwar versus Muswellbrook, and in the under-18s, Muswellbrook versus Scone. So until then, send us your feedback, send us some emails if you enjoyed the call, and we'll be speaking to you next week.